Afternoon, folks. Welcome back. I've been meaning to do a video like this here, and it's the perfect time to do it. And it's simply, in the time of my video is 10 minutes before 4 o'clock in the afternoon, on the afternoon of Thursday, which is the 19th day of August, and it's 2 days after our provincial election. Not even 2 days since we've known the results. And Tory would never in their life do a video like I'm about to do. But I'm doing one. And I'm doing it for the civics and the greater good. And the title of my video this afternoon is A Little Bit of Patience. A little bit of patience. Some people think John Pettipas doesn't have a lot of patience. And I do. I can be patient to get something started, want to see progress made, but I can be very patient if I see people are legitimately trying and doing. You know, when Auld Cove, oh, there's a tough guy to work for us, one demanding, blinking. I think there's only one other business, and it was a business started about the time I was born, that had more long time on the main strip. I'm not talking the Kansas Causeway Scale House or the Martin Marion material that has a lot of very good long-term employees, as does Quality Concrete. I'm talking on the main strip, the retail, service, restaurant industries, motel business. And I had people, longest lady was 32, 33 years, I believe. Remember when Eileen, several stayed beyond the normal retirement age. Several. Very excellent people. And one lady, Eileen, I said, "You like it here?" And she looked at me, John. She was getting there 70. She says, "John, if I didn't like it here, would I stay 23 years? And they take everybody at work with me almost to a T. Or they say, "You can't say this up." Like, well, I'm going to say it. They were married women. And a married fellow, his anniversary is coming up later this month, actually a few more days. It's going to be their 36th or 37th anniversary. Kids from families, teenagers from families, girls and boys that had strong work ethics. There was anyway, the core people, they were women from married women from big families. Married women from big families. Geraldine came from a family of 16. Margie from a family of 14. Gertie's grandmother had 23 kids. She was from a family of 8. Betty's mother bore, I think, something like 10 kids. I can go on. Okay, they take, Eileen came from a family of, I think, 7, and so on, okay? Now, you take, and so, these people, very dedicated, wonderful people. Anyway, back to the purpose of my video. It's a little bit of patience. A little bit of patience. And I got, the title of this video is from Bill Gillis, retired. And a Sunday magazine, they used to have in CGX, which was quite good in Sunday mornings after Mass. They had I think it was an hour-long show, and I always made a point to listen to it when I got home from church. And Bill Gillis was given his farewell interview on CGX Radio, and he asked the people to have a little bit of patience for his successors and people that were getting elected in the new election he was running in March. It would have been March of 1998. And he said, have a little bit of patience to get back. And I can tell from if an M.L.A. man or a woman is going to be successful, regardless of party, it doesn't matter if they're NDP, Independent, Tory, Liberal, Reform Party federally, and provincially, I can tell by the quality, usually a woman, almost always, a woman that's called CA, the Constituent Assistant at Office. The diligence and of those constituent assistants, they're key. You can tell. You can take a B grade member or C plus member, B grade, A minus, whatever, and that lady can make that M.L.A. shine by the diligence of getting back to people, returning people's calls, and some of the files come in are just very difficult. They take hours, days, weeks. Some of them take months and a long time to get resolved. But anyway, Bill Gillis made that famous comment, a little bit of patience. Now, there's one more thing I can tell, and as a teacher told me this. By the home and school meeting, first parent-teachers night, and I guess to call it parents-teachers night now, and sometime in the later part of October, she said, I can tell what that kid's parents are like. She was an elementary teacher by the attitude of the kids. And a teacher one time told me in a store, he said, most parents want their kids to do well. He was a long-term teacher. Some teachers are questionable now, but there's also a lot of very good teachers out there yet. So this guy was a good teacher. And somewhere in rural Cape, rural Cape Breton said, most parents want their kids to do well. And most people get elected, even though half of them get elected, don't have a clue what they're getting into. At the end of the day, if they chose to run, for the most part, most of them want to help people out, regardless of their party. But one thing I can tell, besides the quality of that lady, almost always a lady around an office, women are just tremendous organizers, get stuff done, is meeting their spouse. And in one case, that was Eleanor Norrie, and it was her husband, Rod. We both like trains and come down Friday. She was Minister of Lands and Forest in the John Buchanan government. Not John Buchanan. And in a John Savage government, I misspoke on that one. In a blurted something out I wasn't intending to say. In the John Savage government, was going down to the Liberal meeting in Sydney, and she called on a Friday night. I was going on across 15, 20 minutes, and maybe more, and I said, should we go out and make Rob feel, political husband, feel important? So I went out to the car and brought in the Globe and Mail, or Apples in a Bag was the fall of the year, whatever, said hello to him. And I'd never say this guy's wife, but I said, speaking of Honourable Eleanor, and I said, well, I better go out and make the political husband feel important. Hello, John, how are you doing? Here's X number of dollars for Terry Fox, this fall of the year, because I first met him through Terry Fox. He's a very generous guy. Rob Norrie from Truro, Honourable Eleanor. His wife was M.L.A. for Truro Bible Hill. And a fantastic, very good minister and fantastic constituents lady and great community lady. And so, anyway, I can, a demanding wife, I'm not running a restaurant, okay? Actually, Randy's mother used to tell that to her husband, Charlie, the saintly Charlie Lurie. Your supper's ready now. It's not a restaurant. 5 o'clock is eating time. And Randy's wife was very demanding. And that's maybe one of the reasons why Randy, although he held some large departments, wasn't nearly as politically successful as he might have been if he was married for somebody else. To say that's a low blower being personal, I guess it is. I can compare that to Honourable Joan. In a video a couple of weeks ago, when I mentioned Honourable Lloyd P. Hines' equally wonderful Honourable wife that's been at his side, 45 years married. As the day the election was called, on the 17th of July, it was their 45th wedding anniversary, and she's been at his side 39 years, from the Guysborough School Board to Guysborough, the Municipal District of Guysborough, County Council, to wardenship, to get the Liberal nomination, didn't win the first time in 2009, went back to council, or continuing council. 2013 was, got nomination again, ran, won, and was after a while put in cabinet, and very busy guy, very put at least. Give Honourable Jones, the lady I mentioned. She was at Honourable Bill Gill's side for the last. He was a bachelor, first 2.5, 3 years of his 28 years, wonderful labour of love service to the people of Antigonish County, indeed statesman province of Nova Scotia, was his wonderful wife Joan. 25 years. She last 25 years, for 20 career, she was the lady by his side. And I phoned at the house one morning. It was all keyed up. It was a Saturday morning, and I phoned up something I seen in the Halifax Herald. And I phone ring 902-863. I ring in and says, "Good morning, John." I said, "How do you know it was me, Joan?" She said, "Who else would it be at 6:45 in the morning on Saturday?" Honourable Jones said, "Who else would it be at 6:45 in the morning on Saturday?" And she told me one time, only twice, all the college took at home, did somebody get moody with her. And if people were keyed up or cursing or going on, Bill could usually calm them down and get to the issue at hand and start to make notes and promise to get back, and would get back. Not only promised to, he would get back and do his very best. And they take, but only twice in the 25 years of her taking calls at home did anybody personally get muddy. It was very demanding. But I'm going to back up here. The guy had a restaurant in Rest one time, and it was a chicken restaurant. I think it was, who was it? It was either a sister, it was a sibling, or his mother. It might have been his mother, and she wasn't being a hard mother-in-law, but a wonderful family in Inverness. This story goes back 25, 30 years, and the guy later gave it restaurant. I can't remember what he did, was doing something else besides the restaurant, chicken place. And she made the comment, it wasn't a gossipy petty, the mother-in-law, his mother, mother-in-law to the wife said, when you're in something like that, you really got to have your wife in it too. I was speaking to a wonderful gentleman, fantastic guy, and I was at their house one time, actually many times, at his house one time, and I said, when will so-and-so be home? And she said, John, I know he's home when I see his truck. I married him, and I know he's home when I see a truck in the yard. And I phoned him up the night after election, and he said, I just got in. It was almost 9 o'clock. He just got in. And they take, and his wife knows he'll be home when he arrives. Okay, and she's a wonderful lady. They're wonderful people, period, both of them. And so if this particular gentleman was M.L.A., he'd make a fine M.L.A. So a little bit of patience. It goes back, Jim Sherwood at the bank told me one time, if you he was second highest in the bank he was with in Atlantic Canada. He said, transfer a man to a branch somewheres, and if his wife doesn't like it, she'll pick at him at home, and he'll be cranky, and it'll affect your business. So that was a comment, Jim. He was a very smart man with great people skills and good judgment. He made a lot of money for his bank. It was good to the customers, made a lot of money for the bank. He was a very good banker. And he said, really smart guy. He worked his way up. He was in second command in the bank he was with in Halifax, branches throughout Atlantic Canada. And he said, I'm going to repeat that. You put a man in a branch, his wife doesn't like the community, she'll pick at her husband at home and he'll be cranky with the customers and it'll affect the business. So a little bit of patience. We have an M.L.A. in this area, not in my constituency, but close by. And I'm told, I don't know the guy's wife, but I'm told from people, I said, what's so-and-so's wife like? And I'm getting comments back, going to be one demanding little wife, and maybe might not like hearing it, but I'm saying it. I can tell the success of an M.L.A. backbencher cabinet minister, and it's the worst friggin' thing can happen to any man or woman to be put in cabinet when you're first term M.L.A. They're just swamped. They're sitting in an office. The previous office has been shut for a few weeks, and they're just swamped. I was speaking to a member of Parliament's assistant, one of his main assistants in Industrial Cape Breton Member of Parliament, and this stuff come up after coronavirus, biological germ warfare, and he took 60, what's the most calls you ever took in a day? I said to him, 67, he said. And I stayed in it. He wasn't bragging. He just, in a private conversation, said, I stayed till midnight that night to start to get stuff organized and start to work on them. And no, nobody knows how hard some of those people work in offices. So I'm gonna say this, and Tory would never make this comment in incoming government, but I'm doing it. Okay, I'm doing it for the sake of the ladies who are going to answer the phones and take the calls, and for the incoming M.L.A.s, men and women of all parties. I don't care if they're independent, and lady up in Amherst, of course this is the second term for her, and NDP, incoming government of PC, or Liberal, you know, so they, whatever, they take, and a little bit of patience. That's the purpose of my thing, a little bit of patience, and I know they put the name out the ballot and fought hard to get elected. Some just had luck at draw. They ran at the right time. I've known over the years some very good people ran and they didn't get elected because I said, you ran so-and-so in Brunswick. You ran one election too soon. Somebody else, two fellows in Nova Scotia, one election too soon. I've known also, I don't want to refer to you and me as trash, but less than ideal candidates get elected in a sweep. I don't mean Manny MacDonald. He's a fantastic guy. But Manny MacDonald said, John, when the sweep is on, anybody can get elected. And when the tide's against you, nobody can get elected. And so I've seen sometime, we lost a very good M.L.A. here. Really fantastic, super guy. And the tide was against him. And that just happens. Things happen. And as the title of my video is A Little Bit Patient. So regardless of if they're men or women, you're M.L.A., and regardless of their party, if they're ones coming back, or especially new ones, please try to have a little bit of patience with them. That said, when the guy promises to fix I did a video this morning, usually it was short. I'm not going to fully turn the other cheek and be disingenuous. I'll tell you that, boy, oh boy, when you got a guy like Tim Houston say he's got to fix healthcare, got us rating times and for operations and hip and other stuff, but and the terrible waiting times out of patients. They are terrible in many cases. And going to fix the ambulance service, blah, 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 and get these 200 doctors. I did a video this morning, YouTube short, you should take a look at it. I said, Tim Houston is going to get 200 new doctors, hunt them up in Dollarama. Take them home like that there. I guess they'll have to deliver them, or I'll have to get a cargo van or something. With that, I got to go. I've gone on longer than I expected. It's just over 15 minutes. But again, I repeat the title of my video, a little bit of patience. Be patient with the men and women and their people that come in office. It's a big responsibility. And I know they asked to run. Nobody put a gun to their head to go out and run. But that said, it's a big challenge. And most of the M.L.As of all parties will try their best. They'll try their best. I'm told that municipal councils will have people phone them on something that's a provincial and federal matter. Provincial guys will have, men and women, M.L.As will have people phoning something that's a federal matter, municipal matter, and so on. The federal guys know that MPs probably get people phoning something that's a municipal matter or provincial matter. So anyway, basically, I got to wrap this up and get this uploaded here. It's 5 minutes past 4, so I've gone on for just over 15 minutes. So basically this, share this video around, discuss it, press the subscribe button, and with that, all the best, God bless, and thank you. Bye for now.